Standing in the hallway, Jenny's eyes fell on Vincent and she revealed no ill will. She loved kids, no matter what the species. He must get bored without a toy, she'd heard Rain. Well, yeah, do you have anything? Of course I do. The walls of her room were painted a delicate beige, and there was a small chest at the end of a queen-size bed that she had to unlock. I knew I carried some things around for a reason. Rain watched her pull out a rattle and a small stuffed animal. Despite his reserve, Vincent's expression immediately brightened. All of his previous convictions had vanished in the presence of the plush. Bribery, really? You could always give him that stuffed dragon you sleep with every night? Don't let anyone else know about that, Rain grumbled. Emerging from the shower, Vance had bound his leg in a strip of gauze and headed into the bedroom. Upon finding Rain and his brother gone, instead of pursuing them, he sat down. He hadn't bothered to take the time to gel his hair, and as it fell across his shoulders, his youth became evident. Grabbing a pillow, he stared out the window, which nobody had opted to close. Play with Janny, okay? Rain had heard him emerge and slip from the room. How are you holding up? I'll live, he grumbled, although said no more. So you're staying, right? I don't know, I gotta think about it. What's there to think about? Janny wants you guys to stay. She knows it's rough out there. She wants him to stay. Vance drew a breath. I don't know about this, Rain. I don't know about anything anymore. She wants you to stay too, Vance. It's obvious you guys are a package deal. The conversation was suddenly stopped by the sound of a car alarm, followed by another and yet another. Janny was already in the hallway holding Vincent, who began to cry. Closing the window, Vance shook his head. What the fuck was that about? That's not normal. No, you think? What's your dad look like? Rain asked as she caught a fleeting glimpse of darkness trailing into an alley. Tall, dark hair. He looks like any other guy. I don't see anyone out there. It's just an alarm. I saw a shadow. Those aren't normal. Generally speaking, they're normal unless cast by something that isn't. Look, you jackass, I think we can both tell what's regular and what's something we need to be concerned about. Yeah, well, right now I have bigger issues than concerning myself with some car phantom, okay? Like what? Like sleep, how about that? He pulled the pillow over his head. You slept last night, Vance. We have bigger problems. If you have a bone to pick with it, why don't you go down there and do so? It could be looking for Vinny. Why would a shadow be looking for my brother? Why would a shadow be in the area? This place is clean of the supernatural, except the witches down the street and the other vampires, namely Leah. Shadows aren't normal. There's weird shit all over the place. Vance got to his feet again. I don't see anything out there now except a couple of obnoxiously loud cars. Besides, nothing weird has happened lately. If there was something nasty in the area, it would have been on the news by now. People have gone missing, Rain kept tabs. I thought it was just some random happening, but 2 more have gone missing since then. You mean those 2 kids from behind the liquor store? Were they your breakfast? Guilty as charged. Rolling her eyes, she thought for a moment. What about the old couple? Old couple? This time Vance furrowed a brow. They went missing too. You didn't have anything to do with that, did you? No, I don't go after old people. They don't have any energy to begin with. I don't like this. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream ushered from outside as someone made the mistake of stepping into the same alley. Janny heard it and her blood ran cold. Having no desire to be a part of any of that, Vance remained in bed while Rain tore from the room, rushing down the street to investigate. Ironically, her assumptions were correct. The moment she stepped into the alcove, the darkness gave way, and like a fly in a web, she stepped right into its trap. Tearing through the ground, a pair of enormous black claws went to wrap around her legs as if to pull her straight through the pavement. Fortunately, Rain was quicker, and as her energy shot outward, the shadow seemed to fade, though whether or not it was gone remained to be seen. Bolting back to the house after placing a lock on the door, she headed straight for Vance's room, panting loudly as she appeared in the doorway. Not good. What the hell just happened out there? It's our new neighbor, something with claws, a shadow that waits. It backed off when I used my energy. Suddenly, a loud bang was heard from downstairs. Stopping completely, Janny looked at Rain. I locked the door, she hissed. There's no way it followed me. Stay here, all of you. She would not permit them to interfere. If something had come into the house, she would deal with it first. Moving silently down the steps, she coursed through the dining room. The rattling continued as something had pulled open the refrigerator and was currently raiding it, tossing out can after can, as well as any kind of vegetable or fruit. Its presence was concealed, though when the fridge suddenly burst into flames, a faint blob of darkness ran toward the ceiling. Rushing in the direction of the stairs, it seemed to be attracted to the darkest portion of the house. Janny was not to be deterred. Get out, she yelled, and the shadow vanished. For a brief moment, it almost seemed as if her threat had worked. However, the air suddenly began to grow rigid, and a low growl came from behind as a disgusting green liquid dripped onto her shoulder. Opening its jaws, the horrific creature let out a screech. Standing a good 7 feet tall, its claws were long enough to wrap around her entire person. Two curved antennae ran off the back of its head, which resembled that of a demonic skull, eyes glowing a brilliant shade of gold. "Get out!" Jenny thought its behavior odd, though didn't move to question it. Thankfully, whatever it was didn't have to be told twice, as she manifested a sword comprised entirely of flames, and the darkness fled. Racing out the door, it fleeted into a nearby alley where it remained. Regardless, the kitchen had been torn to shreds, although amidst a mesh of ruined produce, a small black hat with a white kanji mark lay dripping in a puddle of milk. Rain sat unmoving while she listened to the scuffle below. Jenny's knock caused her to jump.
"What the hell was that thing?"
Vance stammered. They had both inevitably heard the ruckus, and it didn't bode well. "I am not sure," she admitted. "Are either of you acquainted with something that drips green slime, has yellow eyes and antennae?" Rain let out a strangled noise, and Vance promptly sat up.
"Oh, God!"
"Friend of yours?"
"Hers, not mine."
He pointed at Rain. "Mine?" she asked with a growl.
Yeah. As I recall, it was you who goaded him into attacking me in the first place. Now he's probably got a vendetta."
Vance's eyes slid toward the window where the sun was rapidly beginning to set.
"Terrific. Now he knows where we live, too."
"A vendetta?" Johnny sounded annoyed. "He just demolished my kitchen, and someone is going to pay for it." "The guys said they would take care of Sam."
"Please. Those freeloaders probably went back to their own realms and left him here to finish the job. And as far as the kitchen goes, if we don't get out of this house by the time the sun goes down, that's going to be the least of your—"
Before he could finish, another bang was heard from downstairs. "Again?" Johnny sounded outraged. "I'll go." Rain rolled off the bed. "If it is Sam, I guess I'll talk to him."
"She's gonna die,"
Vance stammered as she went downstairs to try and engage the creature. Sure enough, the front door was wide open, and the hat that had previously rested on the kitchen floor was gone. There was no sign of the entity, although when Rain made mention of his name, the air began to stiffen. "What the hell are you doing here, Sam?" she asked angrily. "Come on, don't play games." Thankfully, he complied. The moment she addressed him, the tension vanished, as did the darkness. "Man, you have no sense of humor whatsoever, do you?" Leaning against the wall, Sam twirled his hat around the edge of a finger. He was dressed in a long-sleeved leather jacket and jeans. His physical appearance had deteriorated well past the point in which she'd encountered him last. As pale as death, his skin held a silverish tone quite similar to that of the dead. Sporting a pair of sun-tinted glasses, his eyes were impossible to identify. However, the sunken black marks beneath them would have been almost comical had it not been for the fact that she was literally being addressed by a walking corpse. "No, I don't. Especially not when you stalked me and ruined my kitchen," Rain glared, though she was startled. "How'd you find me? Why haven't you been taken care of?" "Taken care of? Gee, it's good to see you too, bitch." Putting his hat back on, he stepped away from the wall. "I didn't find you, you found me. What the hell are you doing here anyway? And what's the deal with the flames? Jesus Christ, what are you trying to do, bring the house down?" Having mistaken Johnny for Rain, Sam had no idea they were two separate people. "I got a lot of shit going on right now, Sammy. How the hell did you end up in Jersey?" Declining to argue it hadn't been her, she chose to keep Johnny a secret, mainly because she would enjoy seeing Sam hit the roof. "That's an interesting story, actually. One probably better kept for another time. Let's just say I'm taking a little vacation. Life's been really boring lately. This whole shadow thing was cool for about 3 days, and then, well, it gets pretty old pretty fast. But your expression? Now that I could watch all day." Offering her a grin, his teeth were just as yellow and decayed as the rest of them. "You know, if it wasn't going to collapse the space-time continuum, I'd totally go find Matt, and then the two of you could shit your pants together. I think you should just tell me before you get your ass kicked. And please, go see a dentist, you're killing me." "I'm killing you?" He laughed again. "If you were going to kick my ass, I think you would have done it. Tell me again, how fast did you run from that alley?" "You grabbed my legs. What the hell was I supposed to do? Did you want to hold me or something?" "Not in your wildest fucking dreams. I told you, shit's been boring. It's not like there's a lot to do for fun around here. I didn't know it was you until you attacked me, and let's face it, I can't just go out to an arcade, you know? I'm pretty sure people would notice. Just between us, winding up on some news station under zombie apocalypse headline is not on my to-do list. Do you really want a nerd takeover? Or would you rather a couple of screaming idiots foolish enough to step down a dark alley, kinda like yourself?" "I saw you slinking," Rain said angrily. "I went to investigate. You had your fun, now quit stalking me and go away." "I'm not stalking you, and come on. It's not like I've had anybody to talk to in like, I don't know, forever." "Well, I'm not the only one in this house," she cleared her throat. "Oh really? What, is the Wolfman here too?" "I have a toddler here, so don't go spooking anyone." "A baby? Wait! Oh shit." Sam brought a hand up to cover his mouth. "Oh, wait, you didn't. Damn, are you fucking kidding me?" "Actually, no, you're probably not," he chuckled. "Bad choice of words there." Rain gave him a flat look. "It's been what, a month? How is that even possible? Don't tell me you people lay eggs or something. That shit's just too weird." "I was pregnant the entire time. she said with a remarkably straight face. Guess who's the dad? Sam actually bought it and his jaw dropped. Holy shit, are you for real? How? Damn! He shook his head. What did you, screw Fish Kid's cousin or something? Rain tried hard to keep from laughing. Ryan and I met way too recently for that. Think back farther. I don't know. I haven't known you for 9 months, he said uneasily. The only other guy around was Matt, and I've already seen his future, so that just leaves... The look on Sam's face suddenly became one of absolute horror. Oh, hell no, that's some fucking Freddy Krueger shit, man. Are you fucking kidding me? Rain offered a wicked grin. What can I say? What? You're telling me... And you didn't get an abortion? Why would I? We're together. What? What? Whoa, hold up. After everything you people put me through? Are you fucking kidding? He's upstairs if you don't believe me. Regaining a bit of composure, Sam adjusted his sunglasses and crossed his arms. Well, in that case, I think it's time for a little payback. What do you say I make your husband piss his fucking suit? I think that might take him down a notch. Sure as hell make me feel better. He's not my husband, he's just someone I'm currently stuck with. He's with the kids, so don't scare him, you'd embarrass yourself. How would I embarrass myself? That's just wrong, Rain. Man, I thought you had more dignity than that. Wait, what am I saying? You came from Greenville. Wow, shithead, I moved to Greenville. It's not about dignity anyway, it's about interest. I mean, doesn't it make sense, Sammy? All my mood swings and me hating Vance because he was dating Liz? So this whole time it was just an act? You sided with us to get revenge on your deadbeat rapist? Yeah, that's exactly it, she laughed as she enjoyed her own personal vengeance. That's why you don't get shit-faced or high. You might end up with a screaming kid and a monster baby daddy. Sam looked livid as Rain led him into Vance's room. Turning from the window, Johnny seemed confused. Who are you? Who the fuck? 2? Yo, this is not cool. I knew I shouldn't have taken that acid. Fucking Tommy, I'd kill him myself if he wasn't dead already. Johnny did not look amused. Rain, who's your smelly friend? Is this the one who does drugs? Stepping into the room, Sam noticed the group and arched a brow. Yeah, well, excuse me if they were all out of formaldehyde at the morgue today, he said rather sharply. Rain, zombies are not permitted in this household. Whoa, hey, that's discrimination, yo. What the fuck?
It's not discrimination, you freak. What the hell are you even doing here? Vance hissed.
I'm a freak? This is coming from you, A. Rorik? What's the matter? Liz wasn't good enough? You had to go bang vampire chick or whatever the hell it is you used to call her?
What did you just say?
You heard me. Rain, what is he talking about? Johnny asked. What you don't know is that according to her, that thing is her kid. This time it was Vance who had a few choice words.
Not on her life, he snapped. That's my little brother, you dipshit.
Sam glared at Rain. You are such a little bitch, it's unbelievable. Although now that I think about it, it does kind of seem odd he's like 2 years old. Loser. God, Sam, you believe that way too easily. There's a picture of you right next to gullible in the dictionary. Whoa, hey, you just want to take advantage because you're a horrible person. That's terrible. And what's even more terrible is the stench of hypocrisy coming out of this room. I'm a horrible person? You scared the hell out of me and I can't do the same to you? It was a joke! Jesus Christ, you have no sense of fun!
Fun?
Vance arched a brow.
You call terrorizing people fun?
Are you kidding me? Did you actually just say that? I don't want to hear a word out of you unless you want to take a nosedive out of that window, pal. Brandishing a very dark look for once Vance actually complied. It's October. I got like 1 week out of the entire year where people just don't question it, okay? You think being a freak yourself, you'd cut me some slack. Don't call me that, Rain hissed. Abstain from using that word, Jenny warned, unless you want to go up like a funeral pyre. A funeral? Oh, so it was you downstairs, huh? Sam turned toward her. Very nice. Do you even know who I am, lady? Don't, Rain warned as Jenny laughed. No, and I do not care to. You are a child in comparison to me, and I know you don't like fire. A fireball suddenly appeared in her hand. So do you really want to play this game, little boy?
Johnny, I wouldn't.
Vance spoke up while Sam crossed his arms. You know, for once, he's actually got good advice. I might look like a child, but we all gotta look like something. If you think you can hold your own against me, you've got another thing coming. Throwing a nod in the direction of the flames, they suddenly shifted from red to black as he blew toward them. Is this what you're here for? Rain exposed her fangs. To threaten my family? Whoa, calm the hell down. She threatened me, okay? And if I wanted to hurt anybody, you'd be gone by now, trust me. I'm not here for you. I didn't even know you people were here until you walked into me. I thought you were her, he said to Johnny. She gave me all sorts of hell back in high school. I figured I'd return the favor. Not to mention, I like watching her piss her pants. I didn't give you hell. You were too damn nosy for your own good, and even Vance can agree with me there. You used me, you bitch, to kill him nonetheless. And looky here, After everything you did and all the hell you rose, here you are, actually with him. That's wrong on so many levels. Now, I picked up a few tricks along the way. I'm not entirely clueless anymore. Good news for me. Not so good for you. Why don't you stop with the threatening, because let's face it, we both know I'd own you people.
Please.
Vance rolled his eyes.
You don't own anyone. You're nobody.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. They might not be aware, but you and I both know it's the archetype that has the power. You're just his little bitch slave.
Actually, that's where you're wrong. See, lately, he's been mine. Vance just scoffed.
Really? And how long do you think that's gonna last?
Can't say, Sam shrugged. But do you really want to test that theory? As I recall, for all your power, Chaos Boy, you're still low man on the totem pole. Which makes them, he jerked a thumb toward the vampires, worm bait in comparison.
Worm bait?
Johnny sounded outraged.
Your arrogance is astounding. Get out.
Fine, whatever, lady. Bunch of fucking hypocrites.
How's that karma tasting?
Vance sniggered. You better watch your backs, all of you. He shot a specific look toward Rain. Some friend you are. Enjoy your future. What's left of it. You just told me I used you, she stormed after him. You did. You and that guy with the stick pulled me out of the future to make use of my misfortune. You totally exploited me, but there's a little thing called learning from one's experience. I got 1 week to be normal again, and I'm not going to waste it dealing with people like you and your backward little friends. You want me to get lost? Take your own advice. Sam. Ren realized they had used him. He was a dead man walking, and none of them had really shown much sympathy. Sam, alright, I'm sorry, she said as she caught his wrist. Stopping momentarily, he seemed to think about it. Wow, now that is scary. His grin suddenly returned. I never thought I'd get one of those from you. Don't get used to it, Ren let go. That's probably the only one you'll ever get. Yeah, I'm sure. So you want to tell me what this is really about? What are you doing hanging around with that creep for anyway? His brother, she answered. He's just a baby. I feel bad. The kid up there? Sam gave a nod toward the bedroom. I think I remember somebody mentioning that. It was a while ago. I've been out of circulation, he admitted. That was only a few weeks back for you, though, wasn't it? Yeah, she answered. I ran into the porcupine and nosed around. He took his brother. He's trying to keep Vinny from becoming as twisted as he is, so I opted to help. It's for the kid, you know? It's not fair he should have a shitty life like the rest of us. No offense, but sticking around that loser isn't going to help him none. I'd only assume he's in the same boat when it comes to the munchies. Let's face it, Greenville was bad. But you must have some nerve if you're willing to deal with 2 of those things. We don't know how Vinny feeds yet. He isn't like Vance. Maybe you can tell. Aren't you a high roller now? You better believe it, Sam chuckled. Wait, so you want me to go back into that house? What about Fire Chick? I can take a look at the kid, but I'd rather not be barbecued. Johnny, just act like she's your mom. Namely, respect her and you won't be verbally assaulted. My mom? He arched a brow. Rain, my mother was a deadbeat who never lifted a finger when it came to discipline. It was always, go ask your father. He rolled his eyes. But yeah, if you want me to check the kid out, I can. Of course, I don't know how well that's going to go over with Spiky in there. He has no other options, she said. Just think of Jenny like, I don't know, what a real mom should be. You know, someone who makes you dinner and is quick to kick your ass if you put one toe out of line. So basically think of her as my father with tits. Go ahead, say that to her. I'm sure she'll really enjoy it. Yeah, and throw a fireball at my head. Although dinner sounds awesome. You know what 3 years worth of dumpster food could do to you? Liquefy your insides? Come on, I'll explain your story. I skimmed over the details. You can get a reading on the kid while I do that. Sure, just keep Vance off my back. Still upstairs, Vance was sitting with Vincent, who looked rightly confused by the whole ordeal.
It's okay, kiddo. Don't worry about that little beast. He's not coming back.
Is he really all that powerful? Jenny asked. He's just a boy. How can he carry such a burden?
He's not. The thing possessing him is. I wouldn't mess with it, Jenny. Hayne has a mouth, but that thing has the teeth. I'm pretty dangerous myself, and I wouldn't mess with him. I know a couple of people who could be considered demigods, and all 3 of them would shit their pants in the presence of the archetype.
Crossing her arms, Jenny was not fond of being told she should be afraid of something, though they both looked back as Ren returned. So, about Sam leaving, she cleared her throat. He can help us.
Are you certifiable?
I'm pretty sure she is, but that's besides the point. Now surrender your baby. He pointed toward Vincent while Vance pulled the boy behind him.
Over my dead body, you little shit.
Rain, why? Jenny buried her face in her hands and Ren slapped her forehead. Sam, that's not how you ask. Vance, Sam knows Grimdark. Maybe he can tell what Vinny is. No maybe about it. I can tell. Vance did not appear as enthused.
I already told you people, I don't want him exposed to Grimdark.
Would you chill out? Who says I'm gonna expose him? I got other methods. Vance, we don't have any other options. Sam's right here. He can help.
I can think of another option.
Rain, what do you want to know? What kind of demon is he, for one? Anything else? What does he need to eat?
I don't want him near my brother,
Vance snapped again, although Sam ignored him. Tough luck, shithead. Stepping into a pool of black energy, he vanished from sight and Vance went rigid.
Oh shit!
He screamed as the horrible creature that had attacked Jenny suddenly climbed halfway through the wall. Nearly falling over, Vance clung to Vincent, who took one look at the dripping skull and tilted his head. Still partially submerged, the beast's golden eyes narrowed and a long slime-covered tongue shot from its mouth to lick the child across the face. Vance dropped him in terror and Vinny began to giggle. Jenny, it's okay. Rain held her back, looking quite unsettled herself. Her mentor had gone as white as a sheet. It was a terrifying sight, comparable to seeing a poisonous snake beside an infant. Vincent, however, did not appear to care, and instead actually reached out to grab one of its antennae.
Vincent, no!
Vance screamed as the boy wrapped his arm around the coiled appendage.
Oath,
he squeaked.
No, Vinny, that's not Rose!
The creature's eyes narrowed, and it went to pluck him off with razor-sharp claws. Emitting an aggravated hiss, it climbed back into the darkness. Johnny looked both paralyzed and revolted. Are you okay, Vincent? Still smiling away, he didn't seem fazed in the least. Clapping his hands, he hugged her while Vance had nearly passed out cold. A few seconds later, he hit the ceiling with a rallying cry of, Holy shit! As his own shadow peeled off the wall and went to tap him across the shoulder. It gave a grim-toothed smile, and Vance practically flew across the room as Sam emerged with a laugh. Man, you are just too easy, he snickered. I'm gonna have fun with you.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Vance roared. Stop swearing in front of the kid, you idiot. He'll pick up on that.
You know what? Fuck you too!
Vance hissed at Rain before Sam walked up to Vinny again. Put him down for a second. I want to check one more thing. What else do you have to check? His eyes. Sam removed his sunglasses, peering at Vincent with his own, which were so badly cataract they appeared almost white. A dull twinge of blue remained around the edges of faded irises, however it was almost unnoticeable and only added to the macabre that he had become. Vincent took one look at him and within seconds started to wail. It was a bit of a head-scratcher, which was exactly what Sam did as the child bawled. Look what you did, Sam. Your ugly mug made him cry. Rain brushed past him to collect the boy. Hey, wait a second. Your kid is frickin' broken, dude. You better fix that or you're gonna have a real problem.
Maybe you should go lay down in the dirt, you walking corpse.
What do you mean he's broken? Rain asked sharply. Dude, any normal baby would have crapped their pants and passed out cold. Kinda like him. Sam pointed to Vance, who returned his glare with the bird. This Joker acts as if I'm a friggin' plush toy, and now he's upset? If that ain't broken, I don't know what is. He put his glasses back on while Vincent continued to scream. Do you know what he is? I know he tastes like chicken.
That's not funny,
Vance hissed. No, but it's true.
Do you have information or not, shithead?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, why don't you take a seat? Unless you prefer to stand there like a joke, your choice. Can you just get on with it? Ren asked impatiently. Alright, well it's gonna take a bit of explaining. Let me think. Pursing his lips, Sam began to nod. Okay, so you know how there's an equilibrium to everything, right? You have darkness and light on opposite ends of the pole? What they don't tell you is that within each of those areas there are individual poles. Basically, you get a spectrum of darkness within darkness. Light's the same way, but I won't bother with that. Darkness in general can be broken up into two basic categories and a shitload in between. I'll keep this simple. You have Rain, who falls into the darkness spectrum, and Jerkwad, he gave a nod toward Vance, who falls into the grimdark spectrum. There's your basic good and evil for what it's worth. Grimdark is generally considered external from darkness itself, but that's a whole other issue. Anyway, when it comes to the kid, there are two ways to identify a grimdark-based entity. The first and easiest is the eyes. Color has a substantial indication as to how powerful the entity is in question. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. As far as the spectrum goes, red is the lowest and gold or white would be the highest. Vinny here, he's got silver, which means he's second step up from base level. Not a mite, but he's not Vance, that's for sure. Vance crossed his arms.
And what does that mean exactly?
Well, for one, it means he doesn't have your crazy Beetlejuice powers, and for two, he's not as rare, which leads me to the second clause. Unfortunately, without subjecting him to the energy itself, I can't tell you where he would stand in social circles. You and I both know that Grimdark has its own biological caste system, usually identifiable via headgear, he pointed toward his hat. But without subjecting the kid, I can't tell. It doesn't really matter, though. That's more of an inner circle thing, and it's not really relevant unless you're a wielder. Forget the caste system. What does he eat, and how does he stay out of trouble? As far as food goes, Sam brought a hand to his chin. How do I explain this? Okay, the difference between him and Vance is essentially the same differences between Vance and you.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Vance didn't bother to curb his tongue. It means you're a different type as Soul Eater. Let's find a common ground so I can explain this a little better. For argument's sake, let's say you're all vampires. Where Rain needs to bite her food in order to drain its energy, all you have to do is bare your teeth. Vincent's the same as Rain in that aspect. which actually makes him a little more functional. He needs to take a chunk out of his food in order to absorb it. Not only that, but considering he's lower on the demon scale, where you would be considered a carnivore, he pointed to Vance, he's more of an omnivore. His system requires an even balance of both regular nourishment and life force energy. Technically speaking, he could survive on human food alone. It wouldn't be healthy, but he could do it. And vice versa when it comes to souls. It's kind of an even toss-up. He doesn't get the cool dark powers that come with being a demon, but he doesn't have to worry about starving to death if he can't find someone to eat, either. So he could be a normal, semi-normal boy? Ren looked down at him. We could pass him off as a little vampire, she teased. It ups his chances for survival significantly. Johnny likewise looked relieved, although she was certain Vance would be envious. Sure enough, the expression on his brother's face was one of shock. Standing there with his mouth agape, one of his eyes began to twitch.
That's not fair!
Well, that's not fair, dude. Deal with it. Now, would somebody please get that kid a binky? I'll take him, Johnny offered, shaking the rattle to distract him. You should be happy your brother won't suffer as much as you.
Yeah, well, great for him.
Stop being selfish, Vance. He'll be able to have a nice life. You should be glad.
Yeah, and where does that leave me?
Forget him, Rain. He's just gonna be miserable. Who cares?
Yeah, that's a good question,
Vance snapped. Family takes care of family, or at least that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I'll take care of him, and then one day he'll be old enough to realize the difference and take off, just like everyone else.
Then you can kick his ass and tell him you're stuck together. Seriously, Vance, it'll be years before he tells the difference. He loves you.
So did Liz.
Ren's eyes flared the color of spring violets. Liz? Are you kidding me? She never loved you, Vance. If she would have loved you, she wouldn't have run away. Offering a bit of a shrug, he rolled over and kept his back to her. Seriously? Are you still bent over some broad? You? Ren poked his shoulder. Grow up here. Jesus, she's in high school. She doesn't know anything.
Yeah, well, when you're in a relationship with someone, then you can be in the position to give me advice, he grumbled. I don't want to talk about it. Go play with my brother if you love him so much.
I'm not a relationship kind of person if you haven't noticed. Come on, Vance, you're the guy in the pimp suit and you're crying over some blonde who believes someone died for her sins? What are you, jealous? Do you want me to hold you and give you a stuffed animal to play with? Turning to look at her, his eyebrow nearly floated off his face.
If you touch me, we're gonna have a serious problem.
Don't flatter yourself. I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole.
Good, let's keep it that way. And I'm not jealous of Vinny.
Then why are you bitching about him being an omnivore and how I hold him all the time? Do you need a hug? I think Sam might be willing. Vance held up 2 fingers in the shape of a cross and narrowed them in her direction. Quit your bitching. Sam and I aren't gonna hug you. Have Rose hug you. How about that?
I don't want or need a hug,
he hissed. Then what do you need, besides a cigarette?
How about some time alone? That would be nice. And I don't smoke. That would be you and Sam.
You should start, or get laid, she added cheekily. See you later, Romeo. But for the record, your Juliet wasn't worth it.